My name's Ethan Ferrari. I'm from Detroit, Michigan, but I'm living out in Vegas right now, and I rap. Well, I was born there back in '05, and I stayed there till I was about 9 or 10, and then I moved out to Vegas with my mom. Been there ever since. It's great, other than the slot machines and the infinite amount of alcohol, but other than that, it's pretty good. It's a good experience. It's a entertainment capital for sure. You definitely try to, but you gotta go in and have the experience at least once in your life. You gotta kind of know what it's about. You're living there. That's kind of the whole shindig of Vegas is the gambling. So it's definitely cool to go out and see it all. More importantly, though, they have a huge downtown scene for a lot of performances and stuff like that. So we definitely love it down there. As far as rap, it's not huge. Definitely big rock scene, metal scene is big out there too. A lot of house shows and stuff. But we found our little nook where we belong out there. So until we plan on making the move out to LA, we're gonna just be keeping it rocking with them. So we have been recently. So we used to perform with these group called Last Friday. They throw on shows and open mics out in Vegas, and we did a show for them that they had collabed with a group out here, and they told us to come out, and we've been coming out probably every weekend for probably 3 weeks now. So I think that the main thing is that I roll with my producer Andrew all the time. I need him here. I mean, without obviously you need the raps for the music, but without the beats, without the engineering, I mean, this guy's my rock. You know what I'm saying? I think that a lot more than just writing goes into it. I think that there's a whole engineering background, and it's honestly unfortunate because a lot of times I feel like the spotlight doesn't get drawn onto that as much as it should. Goes both ways. So a lot of times you'll see it. We'll be running around, and I'll be writing everywhere I go. When I was in school, I used to have an auto mechanics class, and I would sit in my golf cart and I would write every day, all the time. And my teacher was really cool. She would let me skip my classes and just get my writing out. And she knew that we were trying to do it, so she kind of was a little more lenient with it. But yeah, we just wrote and wrote and wrote, and I'll go to his house and he'll say, hey, look, I've got this beat, this beat, this beat. Play it up, we'll see how it sounds. And a lot of the times too is we'll sit here, we have a lot of friends who are really, really talented with instruments, and we'll have them come in and we'll say, we want you to make a bass line, and we'll do it all from scratch. And so it just depends on kind of the day and kind of the feeling we're shooting for. But whether I'm writing it right there to the beat or I'm just writing it to my own head, it's all the same memo. I mean, we're delivering a message for sure. I met Andrew 5 years ago. So I pulled up to this park, the skate park, and I was skating, and I had a couple buddies there, and he was hanging out with these two girls, and they were like, "Yo, come to this party next week." He didn't say a word this whole time, and he was like, "Come to this party next week. It's gonna be a couple days long. It's gonna be sick." The minute we saw each other there, we were with each other the whole time, and 3 days of partying went by. We were like, that was fucking sick, and I mean, it was inseparable after that. I think that we really got our start partying just hard with each other and getting everybody, to have a good time. I think we're entertainers by heart for sure. And I think that it all started with just, meeting each other out in that kind of space, trying to put on a show for everybody else, you know what I mean? And we'd sit here and slam bottles in front of everybody, and we'd make jokes, and we'd get up, dance, do our thing, you know what I mean? I think it's important that we had that foundation beforehand too. Yeah, so I'm a big writer. All writing comes from freestyling. I sit here in my head and I'm going, this and this and this and this, and then boom, there's that one bar that I really like, and it clicks. Throw that down on a piece of paper, don't forget it, and we can move on to the next one. And a lot of my pages are just crumpled up, slammed in, just messy words you wouldn't know how to read it. It's like deciphering a codex, you know what I mean? But once you're out there on the beat and you can see it all in front of you, it's once you're the creator, you know what I mean? You laid every word down, so it's I know where it's supposed to be. I know where it's not cluttered for me. You know what I mean? There's no set number of projects. I mean, there could be 100, there could be 200. I don't even know. I think that when we started making music, our biggest thing was that we just wanted to get it out there. We just wanted to put it all on somewhere where we could hear it. I've never ever understood artists who are trying to get out there, especially, gatekeeping their own music. It's like you should want everybody to hear every song you've ever made, and I think that that's been big for us. And we upload everything onto SoundCloud, and we haven't been like posting it on Instagram. We don't send it to really nobody, but just from catching an algorithm, we've been able to gain some traction. And I think that that's super important for us, is that we have a mixtape right now that's over 2 hours long. And a lot of people are saying, you know, drop that in parts and make it a couple things. And our main thing is that that project is supposed to be 2.5 hours long. It's not for you to sit and listen to 2.5 hours straight of music. You know what I mean? It's so you can bounce around and hear 100 different songs about 100 different things, all about us. You know what I mean? Well, I mean, I think I look up to my mom. She's like the hardest worker I know. It's always been just me and my mom, and she's always held down. I mean, right now she's working 3 jobs at home. You know what I mean? She wished me bon voyage and wished me good luck and stuff, and she said I was gonna come and kill it. You know, and that's just the kind of support that I've always needed, especially from my mom. You know what I mean? She's definitely one of my biggest, like, you know, if I don't work as hard as she is, then am I really doing anything at all? You know what I mean? And I think as far as musically, I think Kanye West is like my biggest inspiration as far as like the beats and the writing, and like how it's mainly, you know, Kanye West, his biggest thing was like, I'm not a killer. I'm no killer, I'm no gangster, you know what I mean? I sold drugs in high school for fun, you know what I mean, for money. And when it comes down to it, it's like, I'm telling the people about me. You know, I'm talking about me. I'm not talking about nobody else, and I'm not talking about a life I don't live either. You know what I'm saying? I like to keep it on the ground floor. You know, if you're here to listen to my music, it's because you want to listen to me and talk about shit that only I know. You know what I mean? It's my perspective. Most definitely. I think I had a little rough patch with drugs for a couple years, especially in high school. All my buddies were older than me, about like in their 20s, and so me being in high school, hanging around them, I got to dabble in a lot of things that probably shouldn't have been dabbling around with in high school. And I think that music has been, it was definitely an escape for a lot of things, you know what I mean? And it's not to say that I think I've had a great life. I think I've had a very privileged and like awesome experience in life. And I think that it was definitely a learning experience, but it's therapeutic in the way of I can go out and talk about just what's going on in my day. You know, if I'm having a bad day and I go make a song about having a bad day, me and Andrew's over there, me and Andrew are gonna be sitting there at the end of the day like, this is so fucking awesome, like this sounds great. We're sitting there bumping our heads down to it, you know what I mean? And it's a release. You know that once I walk into the studio and once I'm in front of a mic, that nothing else matters. There is no other point, you know what I mean? It's just that there's no limit to what I can do inside of a studio, you know what I mean? Nothing's bothering me. I think as far as goals go, I mean, short-term goals is definitely getting out here to LA, moving out here, hopefully in like around May time, and you know, starting to keeping it consistent with the shows. But as far as the dream, I mean, the dream is to be heard for sure. I think that work ethic is a big thing behind it, and I would put my work against anybody else's. You know, I think that I'm my own biggest supporter, and there's really no limit to like the ambition I got. You know what I mean? I think that as far as my dream at where I'm gonna be in a year or two, I mean, I couldn't put a finger on it. I could be on the moon in a year. You know what I mean? If I want to do something, then I'm gonna do it. So I think that as far as right now, I want to get out to LA and I want to keep doing what I'm doing, and then I want to get up there. You know what I mean? I think that I want to work hard enough to be respected as one of the greats.
What's up? I'm Andrew Nikolas. My producing name, Nikolas Noir. I be cooking. I be rapping, singing sometimes, but it's not my preference. This is my rapper for sure. Ferrari. He be writing pages like. That's why I don't like writing, because if I write a song, it's gonna take me like a week. It takes me 2 hours to write like one rhyme. But him, it's just like I'll be making the beats, and like by the time it's done, he already has the whole song written out. So it's just like boom, boom, boom. Like that's why we need that system. That teamwork is like. It makes everything like so much easier and more fun. Like I get to do what I want. He gets to do what he wants. And yeah, and like when we met, that's definitely an important part, because we met through like party. Like we didn't even start making music or even talk about music for like probably like the first year and a half or like something like that. Like it was never in our minds. We were just like always texting each other like, hey, tonight, like this is the move. Like
more worried about being friends.
Yeah.
Importantly, that was a big thing for us too. Like right when we met, I mean, like I kid you not, like every single day after I met this guy. We were with each
those
other
were wild times.
and we weren't
when
even
COVID
doing
started.
music.
That's like when it kind of like when COVID started, like everything shut down and there was like nothing to do and everyone was just like texting. Like finally, it was like that's when we
Really started getting out there.
the
and getting
origin
it done.
story.
For real.
But yeah, and like I was always making beats on the side and stuff, and like they're always like cheesy or corny. But
Yes.
it was just like everyone starts off like that, and like even our first songs, I had them saved somewhere. Like they're always like just.
The craziest, most
yeah,
outlandish songs.
I actually I love his right, like I love listening to his, like he got his stuff down now, but back like you listen to the old stuff and you're like okay, like
Yeah.
The potential.
yeah,
Definitely.
yeah, there was potential. Exactly, we saw potential. Like
Well, and it happened too. And the first song we ever made, I don't even remember
I
the
wanna
lyrics,
say
but
it. I know
it's just Dusty Bitches.
Yeah,
like,
that's
it
what's
was
called,
the
Dusty Bitches.
goofiest song, but the whole song made no sense.
Yeah.
It was like crazy and like wild. We had people screaming. Like we had all of our friends like get in a room and scream on it, and you know, but making that process of making it, I had never wanted to get on a mic. I was always like, no, fuck that shit. I'm gonna look cringe, like I'm gonna be weird. And Andrew here was, every day I would get fucking hammered and he'd be like, please come on the mic, like just come on, just like rap real quick, like just try it, like just say stuff. You don't even gotta rhyme.
Yeah.
And we did it, and I mean I had a blast. And at first it was just like, let's just keep fucking around and having fun. And then after a while you're like, you know, if you play in the sport, you might as well get good at it. You know what I mean? So after a while, we made a song called "I've Never Been," and it was.
We're making some love songs.
Yeah, we made a love song.
Yeah.
It really clicked. That was the first song that we really took seriously. And as far as like, you know, taking the music seriously, that was like there was that moment where we played the final cut of it, and we're sitting in our chairs, and I'm looking at him, and I'm like, dude, what the fuck just happened?
Yeah.
Like, what did we just do? And that was it. That was it was I've Never Been, and after that we just kept going and going and going. And it's a lot of people put themselves on a schedule and try to do consistency and say like I'm gonna make a song every week.
Yeah, we're up till like 2 in the morning. Like we'll meet up at like 2 in the morning,
Exactly.
and then like till the sun comes up, we're making music and cooking, like all that.
And it's definitely interesting too. I mean, being that we work in the industry, we work nights if we want to make money. And so as far as, you know, having the time to make the music, it really is like we have to make the time. We have to carve out the time, and there's a lot of sleepless nights, bro, and like just staying up, listening to the same thing over and over and over again. But that's the work that it takes. That's the work that has to be put in. You know, we're staying up those nights. We're going to work tired, and when I was in school, I was working 7 days a week. I was going to school 5 days a week, and I was coming over to his house every morning, every night to make some music. You know what I mean? So it definitely it takes a lot of just willpower. You know, you got to be able to do it. And I think that a thing that's helped especially is that anytime that I'm having I'm feeling down about it, you know, he's right here to say, you know, pick it the fuck up, bro. You know, where was that hard work that we wanted, you know, ever so long ago? And whenever he's lacking down, I'm not feeling it, I'm not feeling up to it today, I go, what the fuck are you doing, bro? This is what we do. This is who we are. And it's good to have each other there to remember us. You know what I mean? Kind of give us that basis of like, you know, if you fall down one rut of the ladder, I'm here to push you back up it. Well, I think I could tell you how I challenge him as a producer.
I
never
never made like I was never making hip hop. That's for sure. I was making like lo-fi beats and like really chill, like
when we first started.
like put rain behind it, like just some chill homework beats. But like, yeah, that's what.
Exactly. So I think that I challenge him probably every damn time. I don't know how this guy doesn't hate me.
But now I love hip hop. Like I didn't even listen to hip hop before. Like I grew into it through making it. That's why I like Kanye West too. I'm like it's pretty much like it's Jay-Z's Blueprint. That's his album, but it was the blueprint. Like all that music. Exactly. You have to listen to music, and that's literally where it comes from. Like it's all the blueprints are already there. Like just keep listening all on loop.
And I think that Andrew challenges me as far as rapping, just to constantly be like, it's not, he doesn't ever sit there and tell me how to write, but he'll sit there and say, look, this is what I like. I'm feeling this for this song. You know, as the engineer, he has a say in just as much of it as I do. And on top of that, if we really wanted to get down to it, he's making all the beats. So if I didn't sound good, he could just take me off. And so I think as far as like challenging goes, he always knows, like he knows that, like I don't mean this in like an ego way at all either. He knows how good I am, and he knows that when I'm underperforming, when I'm fucking off when I'm not on my shit, and he definitely keeps me in check. And I think that I keep him in check just the same, because I'll look at him and I'll go, I want it to go like this, boom, boom, bow, boom, 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 bow, and he'll be like, what the fuck are you, like, how do I even do that? And every time he does it, he never fails to deliver. I mean, he's totally self-taught too, which is another thing. He just started school like 2 weeks ago for sound engineering.
Yeah.
So as far as like, you know, really having to learn it, this has been a learning process for both of us. But I think that when you listen to the music, you'll really say, how the fuck did they make this in their bedroom with, you know, less than $1,000 worth of equipment and no training at all? I mean, we don't have a fife dog, we don't have a Q-tip to be around us telling us how to do things. We have each other, and that's honestly it. And then we were gifted with the age of the internet, for sure. I mean, like, being able to just look up anything on YouTube is amazing. But again, you got to know what you're looking up. You got to know a thing or two to be able to get places around, especially in music. And I think that this guy's a genius. And if I wouldn't want anybody else like to be a partner. You know what I mean? I wouldn't want anybody else to be on my team.
Yeah. So there's multiple different ways we make a song. We use FL Studio for sure, but I'm starting to learn other DAWs too. But I love FL Studio. That gets it done. Recently, we've been like recording more like live instruments, and like it's a lot easier than I thought. You literally just plug that into the sound box and just like play that, and that usually sounds really good because if you're recording the mic on the same thing, like it just like, everything is in sync. Like I love that. But another way is like I love sampling too. I listen to a lot of like Frank Sinatra is one of my favorite artists, but like all those classy songs, I love sampling old songs, just like cutting like 2 seconds with the very intro and just like make it a whole, like make the whole song about it. When you hear through the song in the car and then you hear it live, it's the same thing. Like we want that to be like as livid as possible. And that's like just been an experience that we didn't even think about until we started performing. Is like, cause it's hip hop, like it's just raw vocals. Like when you go up, it's raw vocals. You don't need you're not playing a character or anything. And so I think that's like something that I've like been scoping in even more, is like, this is just about like all about performance based. Like, when I'm producing the song now, I'm thinking about like there's this audience right now listening to this. Like, what does the room look like?
Yeah, I think that as far as like, you know, performing and stuff, we really have had great luck. I think, and not luck. I think that it's all hard work. We work for this. You know what I mean? So yeah. I think as far as, you know, I've never had a bad experience at a show or anything.
Like we should get a lot of love for it.
And so, but we used to do house parties before we found Last Friday. And so we used to do house parties, and the person there was a big house of a bunch of like musical people, and they're awesome. And we had a friend named Jax there who's so sick. He plays bass on our new song.
Yeah, he played instruments on our newest song.
So sick. My love for hip hop. But it was so sick, and he would always invite us to parties, and he used to have like his old frat and stuff. We would all party, and he moved in with these music guys. We used to go there, and we did a show there, and they were doing some fashion show, and we did a show, and people, I guess, started gravitating toward the show more than the fashion show, but the fashion show is supposed to be the most important thing. And like one thing led to another. We come back a couple months later to do another show, and one of the owners of the house came up and was like on some fuck shit, and so he tried to get us while we're separated, because nobody's coming up to me with this guy around. Right. That's just how it is. He's fucking enormous, you know what I mean? So this guy tries to get us separated, comes up to me, and he's like, yo, next time, you know, where I'm at my house and stuff, don't be doing that shit. And I was like, fuck you, bro. Like, you think I'm scared? You think I'm scared of you because I don't got my big friendly giant, bro? I was like, he'll come over here and step on you, bro. Like, fuck out of here. So I walk away, try to find him. That guy had went up to him to try to talk to him and give him the same fucking spiel. And I came up and I grabbed him and I said, we're not fucking with these losers, bro. We're getting the fuck out of here. An hour later, we're getting kicked out because him and his buddy had plotted, and, you know, they were like, exactly. And so we were like, all right, we'll leave, but admit she's a bitch. Like, admit that you're being a bitch and that you fucked up and that this is all some fucking pussy shit because you don't want to do it. And he did it. He admitted it, and we left. And we admitted it right there in front of everybody. We left.
No, that was weird. So, he was just admitting that he was scared or something, like in front of everyone.
He was like, well, you know, when a big guy bumps into you like that.
He literally said like that. It was so awkward. I'm like, bro.
And I was like, this guy's not fucking big. He's massive. Okay, get it right. I'm like, this is a fucking stone wall right here. But it's great too, because whenever we're out in settings like that, he's completely silent.
Yeah, I didn't even say. I was just like high as fuck. I was
He
like,
doesn't
what's
say.
going on?
I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm all barking.
We're getting
he's the
kicked
bite,
out.
you
I'm
know
like,
what
bro.
I'm saying?
I'm like, we're like, it was so, that was weird.
Like, he came up to me and
Yeah.
he's like, we're getting kicked out. And I was
Yeah.
like, fuck no, we're not. I was like, not until I get to the bottom of this shit. So, yeah, but other than that, you know what? And it's turned out great too, because a lot of the people we met there, they invited. I'll segue into this. So they invited us over to Taverna Costera, which is another just like a bar downtown, and we went there just to do an open mic. It was for maybe like 7 people. Like there was not a lot of people there, and all 7 of which were performing. And so like we were just hanging out there, and a guy named Malik Devon came up to us and was like, "Yo, that was hot. You got to come through to last Friday." You can find out all our new stuff on Noir Records on SoundCloud. Again, that's Noir Records, Noir. My name is Ethan Ferrari,
I'm Andrew Nikolas.
and this was our Underground Issue 10.
Thank you.